I'm Brianna. And I'm Akira. And you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out, this is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth, and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another great edition of the Dante's Boxing Nation Show. I am your host, Dante. First things first, let me go ahead and plug the Box Fan Expo. It's coming September 12th, man. There's going to be a lot of fighters there signing autographs, taking pictures. Come check it out. Just added to that list is Roberto Duran. The great Roberto Duran is going to be there. So you guys don't want to miss it. It's on the same night of the Mayweather versus Berto fight. It's going to be at the Las Vegas Convention Center out here in Las Vegas. So let's go ahead and get into some boxing news, and let's go ahead and introduce the boxing panel. Let's start with my panel on the phone. My man Boxing Eagle, what's going on?
What up, y'all? Let's get it in.
All right, and we have a new addition to the boxing panel. My man Eric Morales, he has a YouTube channel, a great YouTube channel as well. Check it out. What's going on, Eric?
Hey, what's going on, Dante? Glad to be here, bro.
All right, welcome to the show, man. And in the studio with me live, I'm gonna start off with my man right next to me right here. This is my friend, a big boxing fan, knows his stuff. He ain't no decaf. My man over here, Carlos. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's good, man? Thanks for having me.
He also he has a YouTube channel, Game, Sports, and Weed, right? Yep. That's what it is, right?
Yep, you know that.
So we know how his life is, right?
But it's just sitting there. That's just a channel just sitting there. Yeah.
You ain't got to defend it though. You ain't got to. Oh,
yeah.
You talking about just the channel? Yeah, that's just your channel.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got my man, active boxer. He's an amateur. He's about to turn pro. My man Reginald was in the building. What's up, man?
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right,
Just
man.
happy to be here.
Hey, that's what it is, y'all. Let's get into some boxing talk, man. So, I want to start. Oh, you know what? Let me go also introduce my man, producer over here, George, in the building.
The button pusher.
The button pusher. MC Button Pusher is in the building. Yeah. So, let's talk some boxing, y'all. So, anyway, let's talk about this press conference. It was a great atmosphere. Canelo versus Cotto. A lot of people showed up. I'm psyched about this fight. So since we have two people that we didn't get a prediction from, I want to start with you, Eric. What is your prediction on this fight, and what do you think about the build-up to the fight, Eric?
I think the build-up is great. It is going on. The only problem I have with the build-up is I love the press conference. I just finished watching it, actually, but it was kind of boring. The fans seemed to be the biggest part of the whole thing. They were the most exciting part, at least. The build-up is fantastic. I think the fans are more excited than anything else to see this one. It's not quite on the Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather level, but, it's a few levels below, but it is a very exciting fight. Prediction-wise, I hate to pick against Cotto. The guy is hella talented. He can do it all. His punching power seems to be pretty crisp at that weight. I know it's a catch weight and all, but I'm going to have to go with Canelo. I mean, I really am. I think I'm going to go with Canelo. It'll probably change in 2 days, but right now I'm picking Canelo to beat him. I think it's going to be by decision. I think it'll be a close decision, but I think he'll win.
Okay, wow. So you see this as a decision. You don't see all that power and all the fireworks in the ring. You don't see a knockout or knockdowns.
No, I don't think so. I love Canelo. I love what he does. The only thing is, I hate to say it, I just think sometimes he's lazy offensively. He could do much more. But he seems to sit back and wait for the counterpunch way too often. Miguel Cotto will give him the chance to counter, but I think he's going to use a lot of footwork to confuse him similar to what Mayweather did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, like, I already told you guys what I thought. What I think about the fight. So I don't even have to elaborate on that. But my man Carlos, go ahead, man. Give me your prediction.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's a 50-50 fight, but I think Cotto's a better overall fighter, but I'm thinking Canelo a little bit to win. But I like Cotto though in that fight. But if I'm going with my money, I think Canelo. But to be honest with you, I'm going for Cotto though. I think he's a better inside fighter and could break you down more, And I don't know, I'm just gonna go with Cotto, but I think Canelo will slightly beat him because he's younger, fresher, and he's just younger and maybe he just looks fresher to me. And like, I don't know, I see Canelo winning, but I'm going for Cotto though.
Okay, that's what it is. Now, Reginald, you did a demonstration in the gym.
Right.
You talked about the Canelo versus Cotto fight. Go ahead and elaborate on that.
Oh man, I don't even really remember what I said. I just speak from the heart, man. I picked Cotto to win, and I did the demonstration. I do remember that, just talking about how he fights inside, and he's just a much more elusive fighter. I just think that Canelo is younger and he's fresher, but he does fight in spurts, and that is pretty much like a trait of an older fighter or somebody that doesn't have it anymore in the tank, and I don't think that's something that you'll be able to get over with. You get by, but you don't get over, and that's something that I think Miguel Cotto, with his experience and talent, will make him pay for later on in the probably like 8th or 9th. So I do see it probably going unanimous with a few knockdowns. I could at least say one knockdown for Cotto. At the end of the day, nobody is a crystal ball worker or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So we don't really know.
Yeah, we're not prophets over here.
Right, we don't really know.
It's just a prediction.
But I do think that he'll knock him down. I do think he'll make Canelo pay for his laziness that he's shown over the span of fighting.
It is like a 50 fight though. It's hard to pick a winner in that fight though, nah?
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing is, I think Cotto is a much better fighter than Canelo. I mean, Canelo is good. He has the power. He showed he has some boxing ability, but like Eric was saying, sometimes he can be lazy. He fights in spurts. And, the thing with Cotto is he has that compact, short, keep his high guard up, chin down. Exactly. He doesn't really leave himself open that, too often, and his jab is, is lethal.
That hook to the body.
Yeah, the hook to the body, and his tight hooks.
Right.
He ain't gonna be like James Kirkland going in there chin first, throwing punches. And what's funny with the James Kirkland fight is, to me, I seen just a little bit of holes in Canelo's game, because Kirkland was able to push back Canelo Alvarez and make him feel uncomfortable.
Like Willie Monroe.
Yeah, exactly. Like Willie, and Golovkin.
Exactly.
Willie Monroe and Golovkin. So now if Kirkland can make Canelo just a little uncomfortable, Kirkland doesn't have the defense or the chin. Yeah, I believe, not saying that Cotto has the best chin in the world, but I believe, he has a much better chin than James Kirkland and a way better defense. He ain't going to be getting caught that easy.
And you have to compare Cotto against his opposition, just like you have to compare Canelo to his opposition. And Cotto has faced a higher echelon of fighters throughout the course of his career, too.
Man, he done fought everybody, man. I mean, if you just look at who he done fought, Floyd, Mayweather, Shane Mosley,
and these are all like,
Judah.
These are all like, Floyd.
Sergio Martinez, go ahead.
Well, I can't really say Floyd because he's always at the top of his game, but this is Shane, at his top. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo, Canelo, people that are pulling for Canelo in a biased argument will be able to say, well, Canelo's fought some of those same guys too, but he's fought them on the decline.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
So,
And I also think,
go ahead.
I also think Cotto will do way better than Canelo versus Lara. I think,
no doubt about it. Different styles.
He could get in the inside and that left hook to the body.
Yeah. Lara is a distance fighter.
Yeah, that's
Cotto is an inside fighter, and he can box.
Yeah,
he can do both.
And that's one thing that I'm saying. I think Cotto's a better fighter. But I don't know. I think maybe the youngness might get him, but who knows? Like you said, Trinidad and Vargas, right?
Yeah. Trinidad and Vargas, I think, is a perfect example, because Trinidad, a lot of people was looking at Trinidad. He had been knocked down a whole bunch of times, and they're looking at Fernando Vargas. Fernando had never been knocked down. So they're automatically looking at the youth and the fact that, Vargas has a better chin. Next thing you know, all of a sudden we see Vargas on the ground twice in the first round. So it'll be interesting. But let's go ahead and move on. We got 5 people on the horn, so we got to keep it pushing. So, Boxing Ego, I want to tell you about this recent news. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play the clip.
Let me ask you a tough question. I don't believe in the saltwater with Manny Pacquiao. What's your take on the saltwater thing? I think it's a piece of hogwash in terms of...
I talked to one of the doctors over there that's doing the rehab on it, and he told me everything's going fine.
So you do believe it was the holy water?
The salt water is just a fucking story. We stop. I mean, fucking kid has a sense of humor. Come on.
I mean, how much of a bombshell is this, Boxing Ego, for everyone who defended the story, saying, oh, well, salt actually really does heal wounds and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, tell me, Boxing Ego, how much of a bombshell is this?
I mean, for me, it's not much of a bombshell at all, because from the beginning, I spoke on my channel and I did videos and I said something does not add up with this story. There's a Swiss cheese story, as I like to call it. There was holes all through it. It didn't make sense. It didn't really. I mean, the whole shoulder thing is odd to me. Not saying injuries can't happen in the sport, but just the amount of stories and different things that are said post-fight, press conference, it didn't add up to me. So I'm not surprised by Freddie Roach basically corroborating what I had already told people, that something's fishy about this story.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. So I just didn't. Saltwater. How does salt water heal you? Why are you even swimming? That's one thing.
The last thing, like Reginald said, the last thing you want to do is swim. Go ahead.
I can't remember. You know what I mean? I've been to doctors and stuff. I've had injuries and things like that, and I can't think of one doctor in the nation, let alone a celebrity doctor, who's going to tell you for rehab that you should hop into the ocean. Trust me, I understand that sometimes working underwater, they do water aerobics and stuff, you usually do that at a local gym or a YMCA type of facility. But to hop into the ocean when you have one arm that may give out on you, or you might fidget and re-aggravate something, I just can't see how that would be wise. So I'm not really shocked by the story. I don't know what Freddie Roach, you said it was a joke. I mean, I don't see why you'd be doing a professional media interview and not letting people know that it was a joke. So I don't know.
I mean, it just once again, it just makes the whole story look even worse, because once again, they've never been in sync, when it comes to the story, right. So and I just want to let you guys know, you guys feel free to jump in whenever you want. All right, cool. I ask you guys questions, but you could also jump in. But Eric, let me ask you something else that Freddie Roach said that was it was a pretty big admission. Is he said that Manny Pacquiao and Bob Arum, they thought they wanted to fight against Mayweather, but I didn't. So now Freddie Roach is saying he disagrees with them, that they thought they wanted to fight. I mean, how big is that for your own trainer to basically say, I didn't think you wanted to fight, Manny. If you thought you wanted to fight, I didn't think you wanted. I mean, how big is that, Eric?
I mean, it's big as far as between the fighter and trainer. It may strain relationships, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. Manny, they see things their own way. They live life their own way. They do things their own way. His entourage looks like it's amazing to be in if you're in it. But it just seems like Roach is starting to come to reality, and maybe he's always been there, but just kind of playing around, playing the role.
Yeah.
But now that the fight's over, it's done, it's said, no one really wants to see a rematch. I mean, let's not mistake it. We'll all tune in if it happens, but it's not that big of a deal like it was before. So I think he's just saying screw it and just being honest.
Yeah, the suspense is gone, right? Like you said, if there's a rematch, there's not too many people who are picking Manny Pacquiao to win. No one believes the shoulder injury. I mean, not even Freddie Roach believes it from what he just said recently. My whole thing, though, guys, is the fact that here you have Freddie Roach, the most loyal person, and I commend him for being honest, but you have Freddie Roach, the most loyal person to Manny Pacquiao. He's on Manny Pacquiao's payroll, right? So if he's saying this, there's no way any fan can refute the fact that he's saying, I didn't think Manny Pacquiao won the fight, and I think the saltwater story is basically a crock of shit. Is you know, I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what Freddie Roach said. You know, so once again, man, the whole truth has a way of coming out, man, and it always breaks free. I always tell you guys that.
Just keep putting your foot on their neck. Ain't no other reporters gonna ask him that. So he had to play it the joke route and say it was a joke or it was a story or this, that, and the third. But had you not asked him or had, you know, Dante's Boxing Nation, the whole truth, not presented him with that question, then he wouldn't have came out and said, hey, y'all, by the way, you know, I feel like this story is a joke or da-da-da-da. He wouldn't have said none of that. So kudos to you for applying pressure.
I appreciate it, man. That's what we have to do. It's not too many people that are willing to ask the tough questions and get these type of stories out, because this is what fans want to hear.
Right.
Fans want to hear the truth. What do you really think, Freddie? You know, and Manny and everyone else, you know, what do you really think? And yeah, like you said, we got to put the foot on their neck and put that pressure on them, man. You know, so let's go ahead and also talk about Oscar De La Hoya. Let me start with you. Let me surprise you with this one, Reginald.
Okay,
so Oscar De La Hoya just recently said that Floyd Mayweather is not TBE because he beat Floyd Mayweather. Oscar De La Hoya said he beat Floyd Mayweather. And I got another clip for you guys coming in a minute. But before I get into that, let me just hear what Reginald, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, man. You should have told me this before we even got on there so I could have got it out. No, I think that, you know, like everybody else think when they first hear it, that it's bullshit, you know. It's X amount of years past the fight. And, you know, if he felt that way from Jump Street, then they would have found a way to work out some kind of rematch clause if he felt like it was that close. He already had stated before that, you know, he came, you know, about the weight and the gloves and all this other kind of stuff, you know. So I just feel like if it was something that he could dispute, then he would have found a way to you know, make up for that in that era, in that time. You know, I don't think he should wait you know, all these years later to try to
Of course, that's
take away from. They just do. Everybody's gonna find a way. You know, they just tagging each other in and out to see who can discredit Floyd this month.
Yeah,
it happens so much. So you know, it's just one of those things.
And only the dumbasses think Oscar won that fight, right? Yeah, I mean Floyd clearly won. You know.
And I think even Oscar De La Hoya acknowledges. I mean, you know what? Matter of fact, before like I said, I get into what I got to say about it. Let me ask you, Boxing Ego, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, why would Oscar come out now all of a sudden and say that he's... Matter of fact, you know what, before, because I know you're going to probably go into what I'm probably going to go into. So let me go ahead and say this real quick before I let Boxing Ego talk about it.
Let me get one real quick.
Go ahead.
Has Oscar not said that Floyd has beat him before?
Yeah.
Because he said that when he's had, like, other fighters.
Yeah.
Or, like, I don't know if he said it with Victor Ortiz or somebody else, but he was just like, you know, I can't say much because he's beat me, you know, this, that, and the third. But now you want to say that he hasn't beat you, or
and before he was making excuses, saying, "Well, yeah, he beat me because that wasn't the best Oscar De La Hoya."
Right.
Now he's saying that I beat him, you know. So
he's trying to come back.
See, the whole thing is, man, when you're running into these decafs on the streets every day, and they come to you every day, because see, this is the whole thing. The most dangerous weapon in the world is a damn camera and a microphone.
Man.
That's the most dangerous weapon right there.
Right.
Because no matter what Oscar De La Hoya says, he cannot erase what he has already said on record. All right? See, the thing is, when you listen to all these decafs on the streets, you know, Oscar De La Hoya, he basically says that Floyd Mayweather is possibly the greatest fighter of all time. Oscar said this after he lost to Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
All right? He also said, guys, I don't know why you guys keep asking for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There's no reason for us to watch it because Manny Pacquiao is nowhere near Floyd Mayweather's level. This is what he said. You cannot erase that. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this clip right here.
Mayweather is, no doubt about it, in my mind, in Mosley's mind, in anybody's mind now, that he is the best. He keeps on proving it over and over and over again. And tonight tonight convinced me, I have to say the truth, convinced me that he is the best. Possibly, there's obviously a lot of people who will say and who can argue this, but of all time, Mayweather has the skills to beat anybody. He has the talent, he has the work ethic, and people all over the world are becoming fans of the talent he possesses, so we really have to commend him for that.
Okay, so if you guys, so the clip you guys just watched right there, that was the man saying it himself, right? So what I wanted to say about the fans is, see, fans, they could be as ignorant as hell because they remain anonymous. No one really cares who they are, right? They could say some shit, you know, today, and they might have said some shit 6 months or yesterday that was the complete, you know, opposite, right? They could change like the weather if they want, but they won't be held accountable because nobody cares who they are. No one knows who they are. You know, a lot of them using fake names and all type of shit like that. But see, what happens is when professional boxers, when they try to regurgitate what these fighters are saying, when they try to, you know, copy everything that the fans are saying, they're going to be held accountable. Why? Because they are already on record saying something, you know, that completely contradicts what they're trying to follow now, right? So that's the reason why these fighters and boxers, man, they have to be held accountable, and you might as well just be real instead of trying to follow the trend. Because I think with Oscar, a lot of fans, they come at him, you know, and they be like, man, fuck that. Stop saying that Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather is the best. Stop saying he's pound for pound this. You beat his ass. You and Oscar was like, you what? I beat him? No, he beat me. No, Oscar, you beat him, right? And after he hears that shit enough, you know what? Yeah, that's right. I did beat him. Matter of fact, I know it's 6-7 years later. Let me start telling people this shit. You know, he ain't no damn TBE. You cannot change what you have said before, and that's when the politics comes in. Boxing Eagle, what you got to say on that, man?
Oscar De La Hoya. I like Oscar. I've always watched his career as a fighter, like him as a person. But in being honest, he's a promoter. His job is to promote. Therefore, I can't believe all the things that we hear from promoters, because this is the same guy that said, yeah, I think Victor Ortiz, he's gonna beat Mayweather. Yeah, I just know it. Like, he's telling us these things. I'm like, Victor Ortiz.
Yeah, some people believe in that too.
Yeah, Victor Ortiz the one. He's like, hey, I gave Canelo the blueprint for Floyd, and then that didn't happen. You see Floyd dominate and like school Canelo like a schoolboy, and I like Canelo. I'm just being real, but you've seen him. And he gets schooled for 12 rounds. And what happened to the blueprint? And now it's this. And like you said, the media is this. We live in the age of technology, iPods, and I just got the Madden 16. Shout out to Madden 16. But that's the age we live in. So you see street fights or a politician, and then the video leaks of them arguing with their kids, and everyone sees it. That's the age we live in. So you're right. The cameras and the microphones and the media is a powerful tool, because I can give you guys the link right now to where Oscar De La Hoya was saying Mayweather, he makes a strong case that he's arguably the best ever. Like he said at a press conference. I think it was after the Shane Wilson fight.
Yeah, well,
everybody we put in front of this guy, he finds a way. And then now all of a sudden, like you guys said, 6 years later, we're bringing up his match and saying he won the fight. So again, he's a promoter. It's no different than Freddie Roach saying Pacquiao's going to knock out Bradley. Freddie Roach said it is impossible for Chris Algieri to last 12 rounds versus Pacquiao. That's what he said. Now, Chris Algieri got whooped in the fight. He lost convincingly, but he didn't get knocked out like Freddie Roach said. So to me, a lot of these guys are kind of promoters, and they do whatever. They just ride with the team, and there should be accountability. Like I said on my channel all the time, look for consistency. The message that Dante's Nation speaks, the message that Ego is speaking, these are usually consistent until otherwise proven or proven wrong. And then we'll be man enough to get on the mic and say, you know what, I picked this person to win, but I was absolutely wrong. It's not like we just sweep it under the rug like I never said it. So, I mean, a promoter's a promoter.
Yeah, and Eric, you pretty much said the same thing before we got on air. That's matter of fact, that's exactly what you said. You said he's a promoter. That's pretty much what he's supposed to do. Do you want to add on anything to that?
Well, no, that's exactly it. He hit it on the head. He's a promoter. He's going to say what I mean, they try to sell us everything that Mr. Ego said is correct. He just left out Robert Guerrero because that was the hardest sell of them all. But De La Hoya told us he was going to win too. Mm-hmm. And so, without a doubt, this is absolutely right. The one thing I would only question is when he was calling Mayweather the greatest and not necessarily recognizing Pacquiao, and now he's done a reversal. I think it has to do with alliances. I'm pretty sure if you go back to all those interviews when he was saying that Floyd Mayweather was awesome, he was aligned with Heyman. Mm-hmm. And then now that he's not aligned with Heyman, now he's giving his true feelings. Now, No, I'm sorry. I'm guessing at his feelings, but now he can say what he really feels, or he can just say the opposite to get the fans on his side.
Yeah,
so I think it's a little bit of a combination of it both.
Yeah, 'cause I wouldn't say his true feelings because the whole thing is, like I said, he has never really been consistent. But see, this is my thing too, though. For Oscar De La Hoya, a guy who's been in the ring, with Floyd Mayweather, right? And he's always been honest when it came to breaking down his experience of being in the ring with Floyd Mayweather as opposed to being in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. If you listen to what Oscar De La Hoya has said, it coincides with what Nacho Beristain has said. Nacho Beristain, he called Floyd Mayweather the Michael Jordan of the sport. Chepo, Canelo's trainer, he said he's the best in all galaxies, right? So when Oscar De La Hoya is saying that I noticed, you guys, it could be disputed, but Floyd Mayweather may be considered the greatest of all time. I mean, realistically, if we were trying to find out when he was being more sincere, remember, he also said this right after Floyd Mayweather said, I don't like Oscar De La Hoya. Floyd Mayweather said, I don't like Oscar De La Hoya. And Floyd had just said that, like, pretty much after that. They had a big beat, but you bring up a good point that they were working together. But I'm just saying, if we are to listen to what sounds more consistent, then we hear more professional boxers and trainers praise Floyd Mayweather, of at least being considered, if not the greatest, at least top 5, top 10. Right. I just interviewed Tito Trinidad, and Tito Trinidad said that he thought that Floyd Mayweather was top 2, the greatest of all time, and he had no alliance with Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly.
So
Oscar was just giving him praise, though.
I just want to add.
Yeah. Oscar was
before the Pacquiao fight when they did the HBO Legends and they had everybody talking about him.
Yeah.
And they talked to Oscar about his fight against Manny, his fight against Floyd. He was praising Floyd then. Mm-hmm. And that was only 3 months ago.
Yeah.
He even picked Floyd to win. Yeah,
he picked Floyd to win as well, which he didn't have any alliance when he picked him. Yeah. Go ahead, Boxing Ego.
The good thing about Floyd Mayweather is, despite I'm not here to argue about the greatest in TBE because all that's subjective.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
The good thing is Floyd just keeps winning. So he keeps winning. So despite what you think, you're like, oh, this guy will beat him. Then who's looking more wrong? All the guys that Oscar De La Hoya said would beat Floyd, himself, guys like Mosley or Victor Ortiz and Canelo had the blueprint, or Floyd Mayweather, who continually keeps proving everybody wrong. So despite if Oscar felt that he was the greatest or the best ever, that's all subjective. But I think in my heart of all hearts, Oscar De La Hoya is a promoter. And like they were saying, that he doesn't have an allegiance to Al Heyman. He's not connected to him anymore. So he's going to be a little bit more candid and take more jabs because he's not doing business with them. Mm-hmm. But I think in my heart of all hearts, Oscar really, truly knows that Floyd is a gifted athlete. I mean, you can't share the ring with somebody like that and see their career and be in the spot. He's worked fights like Canelo and promoted Mayweather fights, and so he's seen them live and ringside and stuff. You can't be around that and just have absolutely no knowledge of a gifted athlete that is skilled. It reminds me of a Dave Chappelle joke. Dave Chappelle said, I was working with Pepsi and Coke, and somebody asked me which one tastes better. He said, I don't care. It tastes the same. But Pepsi paid me most recently, so fuck Coke.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Chappelle said. So to me, that's kind of what it is. Oscar is a businessman and he's a promoter. So he's going to say, even if his true feeling is Floyd is the greatest, now Floyd is not on the same side. They're not on the same team. They're not doing business. He got no cut from Mayweather Pacquiao. Mm-hmm. None of his fighters were on the undercard. he wasn't involved in that. It was Top Rank, CBS, and Showtime, and then Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
So therefore, since he's not on that side, then yeah, he's going to take jabs and say, watch Canelo-Kirkland. That's a real fight, this and that. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, like Chappelle said.
Yeah.
Coke and Pepsi, they both taste good. They taste the same, but Pepsi paid me most recently. So he's not getting paid with Al Haymon anymore, so why not slander him? He's competition now.
Yeah. Another thing, too, is once again, Oscar De La Hoya, a guy who has a tremendous amateur pedigree, professional boxing pedigree, not only does he say it, because, see, when it comes to decafs, we're used to a decaf just saying some vague shit without explaining it. You know, oh, you're a runner. Okay, well, let me show you this clip of him not running. He's still a runner. You know, no explanation, just throw it out there, right? But Oscar De La Hoya, he broke it down why he thought Floyd Mayweather was so great. He talked about what Floyd was doing inside of the ring. He was like, you know, his timing is impeccable. You know, when you think he's going to do this, he does that, and then he gets in your head psychologically before the fight, and he broke it down. So it wasn't like he just gave a political, vague, you know, answer and just said he's the greatest with no explanation. He gave, you know, explanation why he thought that. And Bob Arum did the same thing. You know, which you know, kind of goes back to kind of what Eric was saying. You know, when you have this alliance, you know, of course, you're going to say more good things. You know, you paid to promote that fighter, no doubt about it. But this is what you have to look at. When Bob Arum was promoting Floyd Mayweather, Bob Arum said that this kid, Floyd Mayweather, is the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali.
He said that.
All of the fighters that Bob Arum has promoted, remember, his job is to promote these guys. How many did he say that about? He only said that about Floyd Mayweather, right? Because he could say that about all of the fighters that he's promoting, right? He could say that about anyone. He could say that about who he's promoting.
He could put Regal up there.
Yeah,
but he'll never do that.
Oh no, he ain't gonna do that. He gonna demote. he gonna tell you, I got some shit over here to sell, but don't buy this shit because it's just gonna break down the next goddamn day. But you know, that's the only person that'll sell some shit and tell you not to buy it when it comes to Guillermo Rigo. You know.
And Dante.
Go ahead.
I look at it like this. You have to, if someone's giving you if it's the same person and they're giving you two versions of the same story, then you have to at least question, what do I believe? Like, why did you give me story A if you really felt story B? So to me, that you kind of lose some credibility in there.
Yeah.
I thought, like, if I got on here and I'm like, Cotto's gonna beat Canelo, he's gonna rape him, he's gonna destroy him, murder him, and then I do another video because, like, let's say Cotto, I get in an argument with him or something, and I do another video, and I'm like, Cotto's going to get destroyed by Canelo, and I completely switch my platform.
Flip-flop.
That has to make the fan wonder, like, why, like, obviously, maybe he's changing it based on political ties or he has a new agenda now or whatever, but you have to question why there are two stories to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we debating why he said this then, and now it's totally different, especially when Mayweather he's still undefeated. It's not like Floyd started getting mopped up and losing fights. So, if anything, what made him change? If after the Mosley fight you said he was the greatest, and he keeps fighting guys like Canelo, Maidana twice, who was a champion in the first fight, guys like Pacquiao, and now all of a sudden he's not the greatest, what changed? Again, the only time I could really see your story drastically changing is, let's say Floyd was on the decline and he started losing and get knocked down and all kinds of stuff, and then make you reevaluate.
Yeah.
So why is the story changing when, if anything, Floyd has been consistently continuing to prove and pick up where he left off post-Mosley?
Yeah, absolutely. And see the whole thing, once again, I mean, when it comes to being inconsistent, ain't nobody really going to take it, you know, what you say serious, especially, once again, like when you are being vague with the response, you know, because what Oscar De La Hoya was saying recently, it didn't really make sense, and it sounded like something you would hear from a casual fan. All of a sudden, Oscar's starting to say Floyd Mayweather is scared of, you know, of Manny Pacquiao. Now, I think all of us would agree that no one believed that, right? So even if Oscar had no alliance with Floyd Mayweather, we know that he doesn't really believe that. But once again, now that you don't have an alliance with him, you know, you feel more comfortable to jab Floyd Mayweather is the way I look at it. You know, you feel more comfortable, and now, you know, we constantly hear Oscar De La Hoya saying Canelo-Cotto is going to be a real fight, which goes back to what Eric said, is just promoting. You know, is just really trying to promote the fight, because it is going to be a great fight. I can't wait to watch it, but let's be honest. Even if Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao had a rematch today, after all the complaining of people saying the first fight was boring, we know damn well that rematch would still do probably almost twice the numbers that Canelo-Cotto would do, right? Which proves to you that deep down, a lot of people don't believe the fight was extremely boring and all this kind of stuff. That's just a consolation, a psychological consolation prize for the people who didn't want Floyd Mayweather to win the fight.
Right.
You know, so that's pretty much how I see that. So, but you know, that's pretty much what it is. Now, also, Reginald, since we got you in, I meant to ask you about this, or I wanted you to tell the fans, cool, what division are you going to be fighting at again, man? And so they can expect, and are you getting closer to getting a debut?
Well, I'll be fighting.
Or making your debut.
Yeah, I'll be fighting at 35. Right now, I'm just trying to, you know, see where I can get on it. I'm not really sitting around waiting for, you know, a promoter or waiting for this person to cut the check or that person to cut the check. I'll just put all my, you know, skills to the test, and it don't matter if I come in B-side or whatever. It don't even matter. Somewhere in Vegas and maybe Sam's Town or something like that. Just get on the card and start grinding and building myself. And then later on, and you know, down the line, when people see, you know, 3, 4, 5 and 0, 6 and 0, you know, marketability, all that kind of stuff considered, then you know, I'll try to go with the money team since I'm training there and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'm not really waiting on anybody or trying to be buddy. I just go to the gym, handle my business, do what I got to do, and try to get money and try to get, you know, food for my daughter, man.
I know.
She's finna be 8 months, so I got to grind it out, you know.
I hear
that's
you.
it. So, yeah, that's me. That's my story. But I'll be, you know, everywhere I can be. I'll be on Instagram. I'll be on Facebook. I'll be, you know, doing little stuff I can do, you know, as far as like networking or being in the public eye to a certain extent, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so the fans and people will know. They'll know soon enough. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to try to, you know, build myself up a hype right now. Gotta have some product to put up. So
who are you? So who would you say are some of the best cats you done actually spar with so far?
Oh man.
And who did you learn the most from?
I learned the most from Charles Hadley in Dallas, Texas. He's fighting at 54 now, I believe. I think he's like number 10. I don't know, WABA right now. But yeah, he's like probably like 28 right now. But when I was 16, I sparred him. He was already like, what, 24, something like that. And he was already like 17 and 0.
Okay.
And he cracked my nose, man. Broke me up because I was standing too square. And now I come around the left side. When I pivot to the left, I do it like Cotto. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you keep it up and just move with the feet like that. But at first, I used to make a mistake that a lot of fighters that make that are well beyond, you know, my even life experience in boxing. They still make that mistake. They move, you know, laterally, still square on the ropes, you know? Yeah. So I'll say Charles Hadley taught me the most when he bust my shit.
When he bust your shit,
when he cracked my nose, yeah, man. But, you know, I mean, I learn from everybody, you know? I learn from everybody. Sparring, that's just like, I look at sparring like, you know, sword fighting or, you know, like kung fu or whatever. They don't play around. It's just like, bow to you, you bow to me at the same time, and I'll give you my best shit, you give me your best shit, and at the end of the day, we can, you know, dap each other up or shake hands or hug or whatever.
And in the Mayweather gym, everything is amplified. It's like the Crunk gym, right? Because everybody coming there
slapping on the mat
impress.
And doing everything. So it's just like, with that, it just kind of, you know, build up that gladiator energy and help you give your best. So it's not like, okay, well, me and this guy are Facebook friends, or me and this guy run the same route sometime, or this, that, and the third, or I see him at the grocery store or whatever, so we're going to kind of like jab around and take it easy. It's like, nah,
it's
we
real.
Just get it in and move on, you know? Yeah. So from how could you not learn? You know, how could you not learn from that? So I would say from what I've personally, like, you know, learned and went through experience, I got to give it to Charles Hadley. You know, shout out to Dallas, Texas, my hometown. But, you know, when it comes to just like learning, man, shit, I learn every time I step in there.
That's what it is. Whoever. That's what it is. So, you know, we'll probably get ready to wrap this up with the final topic, and I'm start with start with you, Carlos. Mares versus Cruz is this weekend. Excellent fight. Another fight on free TV, ESPN. You know, great fight, man. So how do you see this fight playing out, Carlos?
To be honest with you, I asked you about this last night. You said you got Mares all the way, but I think I'm going to lean towards Leo Santa Cruz. But to be honest with you, I think it's a 50 either fight too, you know? It's a good matchup. I'm happy I got the day off. I'm going to watch it. It's free TV, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of leaning towards a little bit towards Leo Santa Cruz, but who knows, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to see Leo, and if he does win, I want to see him fight Rigo. You know?
You know that ain't gonna happen. But
yeah.
but actually it may happen because he might sign without Heyman.
But it's cool.
Rigo might sign without Heyman, and then it might happen.
When you was posting videos like, oh, Leo's sweating, talking to, when I brought up Rigo, that stuff was funny. Yeah, like you was the one of, like you said earlier, you were hitting the hard questions. Like when he seen you, he's probably like, oh hell no, this was gonna ask about Rigo, you know? Like, oh yeah.
And I was the only one.
Yeah.
I was the only one that brought up Rigo.
But
no other media even brought up Rigo. You know.
But then after that, you started noticing more people started bringing on him. You know, like when you're gonna give the fight to? Because it was getting annoying. You watching the Mayweather fight, and he's just fighting a tomato can on the undercard. You know, like
you
whack. You should be whack. I mean,
and that's what didn't make sense to me. The fact that some people could say that Guillermo Rigo is boring. But yeah, Guillermo Rigo, he comes off of 2 sensational knockouts back to back. The last fight it was David and Goliath, a dude that was like 6'1",
Japanese.
Amagaza. He fought Amagaza, and that was like candidate for fight of the year.
Exactly.
Guillermo Rigo gave people what they wanted. He got knocked down. That's supposed to be on some Rocky Balboa shit, according to the casual fans.
Fight.
Yeah, it was an excellent fight.
He
right?
did better than I would have did.
Just in addition,
I wouldn't have gave
Reginald
him shit.
actually has a higher KO percentage than Leo Santa Cruz too.
Yeah.
But he's the boring one.
Well, he's the boring one. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But let me ask you, Eric. So your thoughts on Mares versus Cruz? Break it down.
Very similar to Carlos. I don't know if it's this. I don't know if it's the change in the weight class, if it's a knockout from Johnny Gonzalez or whatever. The change of trainers. How many trainers has Mares had in the last year? And I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't look comfortable at this weight. He looks like he's worried about getting knocked out again. I don't think Leo Santa Cruz has knockout power. But I do think he's going to win. He just throws a lot of punches. And I don't think Mares, unlike Mayweather, where Mayweather can, position himself so you can't throw a punch, Mares doesn't have that ability. And let's not forget, what is he, like 5'4", 5'1"?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a little dude.
Mares?
I
thought they were on the same size. But yeah, that's right. Cruz is tall for his division. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Cruz by easy decision. There may be some funny works. You never know. If it's in Texas, I hate to say it, I love my state. But if it's in Texas, where's it at? Where's the fight
It's
at?
in No. It's in Staples Center. It's in L.A. At the Staples Center.
All right, good. Then there's a chance at a good decision now that we know it's not in Texas. But it's going to be... It's going to be a decent fight. I think it'll be somewhat entertaining. I see my Mexican brothers and sisters and friends jumping up and down for this fight, but I think it'll be entertaining. And I got Santa Cruz winning by decision.
Okay, I like this. I like the fact that we actually have it kind of split. Because Boxing Eagle, who you picking?
I'm actually torn because I can really make an argument for both. Leo Santa Cruz, he was fighting the Mahadas and different guys, and he was stepping up in level of competition, and it came to a screeching halt, and all of a sudden, like Carlos mentioned, he started fighting like tomato cans and Jake from State Farm. Like the guy was actual State Farm
employee.
Insurance. He really sold auto insurance, like literally.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's on the Mayweather Pacquiao undercard. So, like in terms of resume, I think Abner Mares definitely has a better resume. Johnny Gonzalez, even though he lost
without a doubt.
They have a mutual opponent, Eric Morale, Becco, Ponce de Leon. I didn't expect Mares to get the stoppage in that. So that's, resume-wise and skill and experience, definitely I would say Mares has had the better class of opponent. But then, like they were mentioning, like Eric mentioned, Leo Santa Cruz is 5'7.5" to Mares is 5'4.5", so that's 3 inches, and he's giving up reach because Leo Santa Cruz has the bigger reach also, and he throws a volume punch, like a volume of punches. But I will say Leo Santa Cruz didn't look that great at featherweight in his last fight on the Mayweather undercard.
Yeah.
Like against a given opponent, I expected him to do more. I mean, he was winning the rounds, but this is a guy last minute notice who sells auto insurance and boxes part time. So it could go either way. I mean, the youth and the less damage is on the Leo Santa Cruz side, and the vitals and the stats. But Mars has experience and he has heart. So I'm really torn. I don't know who I'm going to pick. But hopefully it's a good fight. It's on free TV, like you said.
Yeah, it's on free TV. Before I give my thoughts on it, Reginald, did we get yours?
Nah, but I'm going to go real quick. I'm going for Mares, and that's just what it is. Mike Tyson was shorter than some of them guys. Not to say Mares fight like Mike Tyson, but at the same time, he was calling out, Santa Cruz when I guess they found out they didn't have an opponent for him. And the State Farm guy had to come in to fight. Abner Mares, I remember, got on Twitter and was like, it's only 2 weeks or 2 days or something away. I'll fight you right now. So if he believe in himself, then shit, I can't do nothing but go with him. If he believe that much, then, that's just what it is. And plus he got more skill. It's like trying to watch Margarito fight Floyd. It never happened for a reason. It's just boring. It's whack.
Hey, but see, one thing you guys are not giving Cruz enough credit for fighting the State Farm, employee, is he probably gave Cruz some hella fucking coverage. You know what I mean? He probably got the best deductible and everything right now.
Yeah, I bet so.
Wow. It's a good test to fight too. No, this fight we're gonna see how good Leo Santa Cruz is, right?
Oh yeah,
because he's always fighting tomato cans.
Absolutely.
But then again, he's been looking better against them tomato cans. So I don't know. We're gonna see if it paid off.
If I may interject, I think he fights to his opponent's level. When he was fighting Jerry Belamontes and the other guy, he's fighting down. He doesn't seem to have a level up. He seems to only have one pace, and that's throw a lot of punches with no rhyme or reason, and hope for the best.
Margarito, man, that's Margarito reincarnated.
Yeah, Margarito reincarnated. But this is what I'm gonna say: if Mares' chin, can hold up, if he's not dealing with after effects from the Johnny Gonzalez fight, I see him easily outboxing Cruz, man. I'm sorry. I see him easily. Cruz. I see him easily outboxing Cruz. I think he's a much better boxer. I think he has the amateur pedigree. This dude went to the Olympics, guys. Cruz is, like Reginald said, pretty much like another Margarito. On top of him being a Margarito, he doesn't really have a whole lot of knockouts.
Right.
So you have this style that doesn't really, reflect the type of power you're supposed to have.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I can't see him winning, and he hasn't really been knocking people out.
If you're gonna fight somebody that is of the caliber of his last opponent, you gotta knock him out.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We are out of time. I want to say thanks for my panel. Eric Morales. I don't know if y'all brothers, because this is Carlos Morales right here, and we got my man Boxing Ego. My man Reginald in the building. I'm your boy Dante. Dante's Boxing Nation. It's the nation, baby. We'll see you next week.